Okay, the following is Andrew Markus's translation of one of the great works of kyōshi, or mad Chinese poetry, mad Sinitic poetry, a genre of parodic poetry that reached its height in the second half of the 18th century and the early part of the 19th century. And then it died out after that. But this is one of the great works of kyōshi. There are two great kyōshi poets, Ōta Nanpo and Dōmyaku Sensei. So today we will be reading Dōmyaku Sensei's most famous kyōshi, which is included in his collection, his seminal kyōshi collection of 52 kyōshi poems, titled Taihei Gafu, and that came out in 1769. And this following poem was included in that collection. And Markus translates that collection as the Ballads for the Age of Great Tranquility. He translates the title of that collection. The entire collection has yet to be translated. Okay, so here is the poem included in that collection called, the original Japanese title is Hijo, and the English translation is The Housemaid's Ballad. Okay, I should also note that there are two major studies of kyōshi poetry, and there isn't much else. So this is a very understudied field, and much work needs to be done in this field. The two studies are this one here. I will provide the links in the descriptions. JSTOR has just made both of these articles available. One is by Markus, and that includes the translation I'm about to read. The other was published in 1979 by David Pollack, and that's a sort of introduction to kyōshi, a very in-depth introduction, very good introduction, but it still is slightly dated, and more work needs to be done in this field. Okay, so here is Dōmyaku Sensei's The Housemaid's Ballad, written and published 1769. The Housemaid's Ballad. A green girl from the back country, employment was my quest. I came up to the capital, not knowing east from west. I only knew my dear auntie, who lives in Senbon, north, and thanks to her I found a job. She was my guarantor. 100 coppers moving costs, my budget's lost for sure. My valise had one single quilted robe in it, no more. Sprout green it was, embroidered all with cranes and baby pines. The sleeve mouths and sleeve linings were a scarlet rich and fine. I'm honest and a healthy lass, the master's true delight. On 3 days' bush leave holiday I toured all the sights, to Gion, Kiyomizu, and both Honganji, so blessed, to Atago, the great Buddha, and Sanjo Bridge, no less. The next day then I'm off again with auntie for some fun. I've heard so much about theatres, now I'm seeing one. Those fellows grab and hurl themselves about, right dangerous spills. They slash and hack away the other, gives me the chills. The fox, or Tadanobu, is played by Onoe Baiko, and the sushi maker's daughter, she's Nakamura Richo. This Richo and that Baiko, both these actors are top drawer, and next season's attraction, where each will show off his stuff and more. While heading home, we rest a spell at Hijo riverbed. I'm in a daze. Kyoto's as posh, as swanky as they said. From that day on, I scrubbed my face each morning as a start. I want to wash away all country clay that's in my heart. I try on 8-penny powder, makes your skin so nice and white. Plum blossom scented hair pomade, 6 ounces seems about right. It's been some time now since I've had wheat rice or miso stews. Whenever I spot tea porridge, it just gives me the blues. I've learned to smoke, can even handle little sips of wine. Invite me to your party and you'll have the best of times. Now I can chirp, oh, not my way, and clown go hike a mile. I hum the puppet dying scenes in Kuni Dayu style. I flatten down the best I can my kin shoujo coiffure, then tease out both my lantern flares as much as they'll endure. I sport 8-inch long hairpins, ones with tortoise shells inlay. What's that? Brass earwax scrapers? Oh my dear, they're quite passé. That plain white smock I took apart, retailored it and dyed it. Now half of it's a darling mouse and half bellflower violet. Right in the middle is his crest, the crest of Ogawa Eishi. I wear the highest platform clogs with thongs so slim and lacy. Nearby there lives a fellow, name of Chu-shichi the card. I asked him first for little loans, you know, when things were hard. Sometimes he'd take me for a date, and where is it we'd go? Off to the Nijo New Quarter, or behind old Gordio. 200 coppers paid the rent, 300 went for wine. Right after our night's tippling was the time to say my lines. The lines I fed him, most of them were just my little scams. But then Chu-shichi ran out on me, the boy went on the lam. Now since I've come to have a little money just for me, I wear crêpe when I'm on the town. For casual wear, pongé. The crêpe and pongé range of silks seem easiest to wear. Those madras plaids from Ome, oh, they're far too coarse to bear. But have you not heard? Your old dad in the country, long he's dwelt in poverty. How can you prance with lofty airs, your days a boundless spree? Miss, tell us this, we know your wage, precisely what you earn. Just 30 momme, yes that's all, each semi-annual term.